So if you're one of the literally millions of people struggling with chronic lower back pain, you know just how frustrating it can be. I mean, it's the #1 cause of disability in the world for a reason, right? But here's the thing. What if the path to getting better isn't what you've been told? Today, we're going to break down a really practical, science-backed guide to building a stronger, more resilient back. And it all starts with figuring out why you're still hurting.
I mean, you've probably tried everything, right? You've rested, you've gone to different therapists, maybe you've even got an MRI. And yet, that pain just doesn't go away. It's this vicious cycle that can feel completely hopeless. And look, that's such a common story, but it's almost always based on a few key misunderstandings about what's really happening in your back.
All right, so let's tackle a huge piece of this puzzle right away, the MRI. So many people get that report back, they see scary words like degeneration or disc bulge, and they just think, well, that's it, I'm broken. But you know what? The actual evidence tells a completely different story.
And this is so powerful because it just flips everything we thought we knew on its head. Get this, those so-called age-related degenerative changes, they're found in almost all adults, sometimes starting as early as our 20s. A great way to think about it is like wrinkles on the inside. It's just a normal part of getting older. And there's really no solid link that proves they're the direct cause of chronic pain. I mean, think about it. Your pain can be terrible one day and better the next, right? But those MRI findings, they don't change.
So that brings us to a really critical point. If the problem isn't necessarily some structural thing you can see on a scan, then what are we even treating? This is exactly where we have to separate the idea of short-term fixes from building a real, long-term foundation for a healthy back.
Okay, so on one hand, you've got these passive treatments. These are things that are done to you. Like a massage, which feels amazing for a little while, but it does absolutely nothing to build strength or endurance in the muscles that are supposed to be holding your spine up. But on the other hand, you've got the active approach. This is what you do for yourself. It's all about building this strong, muscular corset around your spine that takes the pressure off everything else. The takeaway here is super simple. Passive fixes are like renting relief. Active foundations, that's when you own your resilience for good.
And look, this isn't just a nice idea. The research on this is crystal clear. Let's just take traction as a perfect example. It's a really common therapy, but study after study has found it gives you zero meaningful, lasting benefit. Why? Because it just doesn't address the root cause of the problem, which so often is just a lack of strength and endurance.
So if all those passive treatments aren't the answer, what is? Well, the science points overwhelmingly in one direction: movement. And not just any movement. We're talking purposeful, consistent, strengthening movement. It is by far the most powerful medicine for chronic back pain. The data on this it's undeniable, as you're about to see.
This chart right here really just says it all. It's from a huge meta-analysis that compared all different kinds of exercise, and the results were so clear. Things like yoga, Pilates, and core stabilization exercises, they are statistically way better for not only reducing your pain, but, and this is so important, improving your ability to actually live your life. The proof is right there in the numbers. Building that functional strength is your most direct path to less pain and a better quality of life. Period.
Okay, so we've established that strengthening is the absolute key. But where in the world do you start? Well, now we're getting to the good stuff, the practical part. I'm going to walk you through 3 foundational, science-backed exercises that are safe, they're effective, and they target the exact muscles you need for a supported spine. All right, first up, the back bridge. It's simple. You lie on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Now, the main goal is to lift your hips up by squeezing your glutes until you make a nice straight line from your shoulders all the way to your knees. This move is just fantastic because it strengthens that whole posterior chain, all those muscles up the back of your body that give a ton of support right where you need it in your lower back. Next up, we have prone press-ups. Now, if you're someone who sits a lot, and let's be honest, who isn't, your lower back is probably stuck in that rounded flex position all day. This exercise is the perfect antidote. You just lie on your stomach, put your hands under your shoulders, and gently press your chest up while keeping your hips glued to the floor. And hey, only go as high as feels good for you. This is all about gently bringing back that natural curve and mobility to your lower back.
And finally, the prone locust hold. This is a total game changer for building pure endurance in those back extensor muscles. So you're lying face down, and you gently lift your arms, chest, and legs off the floor all at once. Make sure to keep your neck nice and neutral by looking down. You're just trying to hold that position, and what you're doing is building that critical stamina in the very muscles that have to hold you upright all day long.
You know, all three of these exercises are really working towards one big idea, something called spine hygiene. And that is your ultimate goal. It's not about having a perfectly straight, rigid back all the time. That's not realistic. It's about developing the awareness and, even more importantly, the muscular endurance to keep a strong, neutral spine while you're just living your life. You know, whether you're lifting groceries or just sitting at your desk. Okay, so how do we put all this together into a routine that's actually going to work for you? Because knowing all this stuff is great, but it's consistent action that creates real change. So here it is, a simple, super effective plan to get you started on building that pain-free future.
All right, here's the plan. You're going to do these exercises one after the other, like a circuit. Try to get in 3 to 4 sessions a week. And listen, this next part is maybe the most important. You have to be patient. The research is clear that it takes about 12 to 16 weeks to see real, lasting improvement. Oh, and please, expect to be a little sore for the first couple of weeks. That is totally normal. It's not a sign you're hurting yourself. It's a sign your muscles are waking up and getting stronger. You just got to push through it.
And finally, I want to leave you with this. Because beyond all the exercises, all the techniques, the single most important factor in whether you get better is your mindset. You have to truly believe you can improve. I know that living with chronic pain is incredibly tough, but there is so much hope if you just consistently do the right things. The evidence is overwhelming that these methods work. So really, the only question left is, are you ready to commit?